Robert Allen here. This should be scripted, but I'm just gonna go off the top of my head because I gotta get it done. It's the first workday Wednesday of the year. That's not a holiday. And I said, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do what's called Wealth Wednesdays. I'm gonna take you through a buyer's perspective, a seller's perspective, somebody that maybe needs help on their credit, and investor's perspective on ways to create wealth with real estate. Hitting all of those topics, picking different one each week. And so I'm excited. We worked really hard to close out last year and help as many people as possible. And I have a few listings left over. I'm gonna go through some of them, but I'm gonna use them as an example as to how I can help you with all of those topics. And some of these stories are actually pretty interesting. Some people I've helped put hundreds of thousands of dollars in their pocket over time, or once I finish with this transaction with them, they'll have some money in their pocket, or most importantly, figuring out a way in this market in these days and time, how do you get a home? How do you get a part of the American dream? So here goes nothing. So the first property I have is Northeast Expressway, 2825 Northeast Expressway, $200,000, completely renovated, basically brand new on the inside, condo, 2-bedroom. And this one is unique because it's a couple of exits up from where I actually bought my first home. And you hear a lot of people say that the market is not affordable. Well, here's something, $200,000, very respectable, not only in its condition, but also location. If you work in Buckhead, Brookhaven, even Sandy Springs, all that good stuff, you're 10, 15 minutes away from it. So this is unique in that it's a great price, great property. You want to know more about it. Nothing too special except for my client. It was, I believe, their first home, and they're in a situation now where they've got options. They, moved on, are in another season of life, family expanding, and they have this asset to divest. It's going to end up being a great investment for them. So don't despise small beginnings will probably be the story on this one. One, if you're getting into something, or two, if you know that you're going to get into something and you have dreams for more. Life will bring you more. Just keep living. That's what happened with my client with, again, family expanding, marriage, babies, all the good stuff, but got to start somewhere. Next, I have 2800 Duke of Gloucester. It's kind of hard to say, even harder to spell, but I love this property. One of my favorite clients, of course, but I remember the first time I turned the corner and pulled up to it. I could kind of see online, hey, this is not a regular ranch. And then when you drive down the street, it really pops. Beautiful ranch, over an acre, backs up to a creek, and it was a hot mess. But every now and then a client can kind of come alongside me and see the vision that I have. And she did beyond what my vision was. I just knew it was a beautiful home and that you could make something of it. And she went in there and gutted the whole thing, has the most beautiful kitchen, finished the basement, opened up the walls, big, huge open space. And so the moral of this story is sometimes you got to get creative. Sometimes we have limits on our income and what we can do and finances, but here is a way that I'm not even going to tell you what the house is worth and what she got it for, but the main thing is I helped her with a creative financing solution to get her repairs financed in. She was able to get the home at a price she could afford. She financed in the repairs, and lo and behold, it's worth a heck of a lot more than what her loan is for it. So it was a very smart decision. It was some patience that was needed, but we made it happen. So be willing to think outside the box, get creative, because here's something with one of the special financing things that I'll talk to buyers about, one of the strategies and things I'll give people. You're able to get exactly what you want. She literally takes her bike to work some days, and it's just a beautiful home. Like, it is drop dead gorgeous. She did a great job with it. Really excited about that one. Next, I have a portfolio of properties. We already talked about don't despise small beginnings. So one of the things I'm going to be talking to some of you about is investing. How can you leverage into investments, or if you are an investor, how can you make things better? I've got people that, I do 1 or 2 transactions with a year on an investment property. I've got people that I help them with their first investment property. And so here's a situation to where it's a little bit outside of my traditional market, but we've got good response and all that from the marketing, and then Berkshire, we've got access to partnerships and things like that. So I do have somebody boots on the ground down in Macon helping me out, assisting me with this. But it's a 4 to 5 property portfolio, and again, it's expensive out here. But you can actually find properties, and he couldn't do it in Metro Atlanta. He went down to Macon. So if you're looking to get something under $100,000 at $100,000, I've got 4 properties renting for an average of maybe $1250, Macon, Georgia. You can buy one, or you can buy the whole portfolio and make something happen. All right, so we already talked about don't despise small beginnings. I've got an actual portfolio of properties from a client who took that saying and really wrote it home and was able to pick up 4 properties. He was literally buying properties using his credit card. Some were $40,000, stuff like that. There's all kinds of things you can do. For example, open up an LLC, get your credit to a certain level, and then get some business credit, but go to, let's say, a community bank, go to a big bank, and then go to a regional bank, all on the same day. You could literally walk out with $25,000 credit cards from each of those. You've got $75,000. We'll talk about some of that stuff. It's a little complicated sometimes, but the point is you want to work on your credit and you want to be able to get into real estate some kind of way. So we've got a portfolio he's divesting, able to get more things going in Atlanta now, and we're going to get them sold in Macon. So that's a inspiring story, hopefully, for somebody getting creative, getting into investings. We'll talk about that on these Wealth Wednesdays. There will be 1 week per month that I talk just about investing and different ways that you can do it, make it happen. It's some success stories, but really training so that people can take advantage of it. All right, so next, what do we have? 3346 Sequoia, almost 6,000 square feet. Just did a buyer consult with someone last night. Their budget's, I think their pre-approval came in at like 900,000. They have to be on the north side of town for work and a few other things with their kid in the school that they're going to. But if you're able to live on the south side, I live on the south side. It works for so many reasons. My current clients, they travel a lot, being able to get to the airport, all of that is amazing and great. But 600,000, you can get a home for 600,000 or less, almost 6,000 square feet. It has a massive master that takes up the whole width of the home in the back. It has a full finished basement theater. You can put a gym, office, all of that good stuff. So one of the things that's unique about this is a mini mansion, but we can even still get creative on that because it's on the south side. Regardless of your income, you can actually qualify for 100% financing with no mortgage insurance on something like this. So there's different programs, different ways to make it happen, but I'm going to be excited to talk buyers through things like that. And I'm also going to be able to talk sellers through some of the things that we did. We actually had a really great job, amazing job on the marketing and everything we did to launch that listing, but unfortunately things didn't work out with the buyer. Had 2 contracts over asking price, and that's just how real estate works. But we're making the pivot, and I'll be able to talk sellers through, okay, what do you do when you make a pivot, or how do you launch to make sure that you're getting some good marketing and good results on things. So we'll talk about sellers and then also some great programs. 3433 Pierce in Historic College Park. I actually have certain series that I'm going to be in a different day of the week, and one of them is going to really focus on Historic College Park because we have some really nice things going on. So this one is unique in that it's 4,200 square feet. They actually limit you. You're not allowed to build over 3,800 square feet in Historic College Park right now. And this also is grandfathered in that there's a space, a loft space, so to speak, that you can expand to make the kitchen bigger and do all kinds of stuff. Add another 1,000 square feet, making this a 5,000 square foot home. So it's a beautiful opportunity. We're under $800,000 on this as well. But again, you notice I said Historic College Park, not College Park, all that good stuff where all the things happen. We're talking about Historic College Park. Is a very small, tight-knit community right around Woodward Academy. You've got Main Street to the south. You've got Hapeville and all the beautiful things going over there to the east, and of course the airport over there. And it's a really, I mean, there's just so much going on. They actually have a development that's going to be larger than Atlantic Station happening right down the street. I've got a client that I got in there. We're actually about to do a lease purchase. This was very interesting. I was able to get my client, or get somebody in for my client to lease the home because he had to move. And then we also worked it out to where they could purchase. And then we also got them 100% financing. But she's also right next to where they're doing the redevelopment. This one on Pierce is going to be maybe a couple of blocks from it. And families that love Woodward, all that good stuff, it's the perfect home. We have a master on the main of sorts and a massive master upstairs. And let me think, what is unique about this home that I could do in a series? So of course, buyers. Yeah, okay. So this one would be sellers, because one, yes, we're helping getting it sold and it's a lot of moving parts. But most importantly, the people who bought it used to live a few streets over. And I was able to get his home sold without ever even putting it on the market to a good friend of mine and client. And everything just happened back to back to back. And sometimes that's the most challenging thing. It has a lot of moving parts now, but that was a lot of moving parts, being able to get a house sold and buy another house, and you had sellers waiting on you and different things like that. So that would be maybe be a good segue. Beautiful home. But since we're on College Park, let's talk about our listing on Rugby. The market has changed. Interest rates are not in the threes. And so, yeah, we had an appraisal on it for 1.2, but we now have it reduced to $950,000 as of today's date and recording. Actually, that goes live to the public Thursday. I don't know if you'll probably even see this on Wednesday, but it's an opportunity for our higher end buyers to get some great deals, because yes, there were houses selling for 1.2 and that nature left and right when there were lower interest rates, but we gotta adjust. And it's still a great deal for the sellers and what they put into it and all that good stuff, but beautiful home. And this is probably a gem of College Park. It has a beautiful saltwater pool, massive lot, elevated lot, custom built. We've got solid wood floor, not solid wood floors, but solid wood doors throughout the home. Every detail was paid attention to match their lifestyle, and they made the priority their kids and being able to have them involved with Woodward Academy and, you know, matching their lifestyle. Their kids graduated years ago and they still stayed in this home, and they're only moving for their kids now because they just love the area. The husband was going on a business trip and the wife dropped him off at the airport, forgot his laptop, no problem. Literally, she turned around 5-8 minutes. She's back at the house, picking it up, taking it to him at the airport, makes his flight, no issue. You got an 11 o'clock flight. You don't need to worry about leaving until 10:15, as long as it's not a busy day. So Historic College Park has some great things. You can walk to Barrett Park. I take my kids to Barrett Park sometimes. Beautiful home, custom built. And so that's a great story. I'm gonna do a few more. Atlantic Station, I have a corner unit condo. This is a unique investment in that this seller was buying units cash and renting them out, and it matched his portfolio and everything. My sister, actually, I inherited this client from my sister. I helped a little bit when he was buying maybe 7 or 8 years ago. So we already had a relationship, and with my sister being a broker, took over getting the portfolio sold, all that kind of good stuff. And oh my goodness, this is the lifestyle. He had a few units that were furnished and rented. It was a really popular thing to do, especially with all the movies going on, executives, the higher end people. They were getting furnished rentals that were in locations like Atlantic Station, because you could walk to the store, the Publix that used to be there, the movie theater, everything you needed was right there. So when you're not shooting, you're not working, boom, go there. But at the same time, a beautiful home, the amenities, they blew my kids' mind. I actually took them on a tour to kind of show them what it's like to live like that. You've got basically your own entertainment basement on the 5th floor that has pool tables. You have the best party room. You have a wine room. You have a room for if you want to have a formal dinner. They have everything. The pool. What's that? The coin, not the coin toss, but the sack that you throw, just games and stuff like that on the deck. But when you get to your unit, it is the most breathtaking and amazing view of downtown you will ever see, because you're outside of the city. You're able to look at the city, and at night it is gorgeous. The sky lights up. You see all of the skyscrapers lit up against the backdrop. You can even see Buckhead from the unit on the balcony. This is a unit, again, great. We started at 7s, but we're going to be in the 6s when we sell, high 6s, and it's a great opportunity for people. Atlantic Station. I'm gonna wrap up the other. Actually, no, I am going to do 2 more. And one of them I'm going to kind of wrap up into a bundle. But one of them is a duplex that I'm about to put on the market for rent. But believe it or not, I sold this duplex during COVID. And forgive me if my eye is twitching. long day. Duplex during COVID, 250, I believe. 100% financing, no mortgage insurance. She was traveling for work, needs a place to live in Atlanta. She had relocated, now coming back to Atlanta, everybody's here. And we were able to make it happen. It was perfect to live on one side, rent out the other. Then her job moved her, and then they moved her back, all that kind of good stuff. So we ended up renting both sides. And it's been great. Who can get into a duplex for that? 100% financing. So if you're gonna live in one side, and rent out the other, we have amazing programs that can actually get you into that type of investment. So that one's coming up for rent, not for sale, but it's a great story. One of my great clients that I have helped literally pay off her student loans by how much success we've had with her real estate. And the last one is, I won't give too many details on this part of the portfolio, but I've got some land and investments, whether it is here off of Fairburn Road, something that is special zoning for commercial. It could go daycare, car lot, all kinds of things. You can rent it, you can buy it. We've got some land in Decatur. We've got some land in Lake City, Marlboro area. And this is a family that just over the years, they have bought up tons of properties, sold tons of properties, made real estate a thing. And so that's the, question they ask, when's the best time to plant a tree? Years ago. And so when was the best time to buy real estate? Years ago. So this is a family couple that is ready to divest, ready to retire. And because they made smart decisions in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they're able to now have a portfolio, say, hey, I want to sell this one, I want to rent this one, and the portfolio helps take care of them. So with that being said, I am so excited to launch Wealth Wednesdays, where I walk you through whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or need some help on your credit. Walk you through those 4 things to help you build wealth through real estate. I'm passionate about it. I've been doing it since 2002. I joke and say since maybe 84, because my mother was actually pregnant with me when she was studying for her broker's license. So from the womb till today, I have been all about Metro Atlanta real estate, and I have been passionate about helping others. And so that's a lot of listings to start the year. Let's get them sold. Contact me if you've got questions. But also, if you want to find yourself in some of those positions, like some of those clients that are about to either have peace and joy in their life because they have a beautiful home to come home to every day, or put money in the bank for their future, give me a call. I would be honored to help. Thanks.